Welcome everybody. I am Director Dominique McGee, and in this class, we will be discussing identifying our needs and setting personal boundaries along with when we identify our needs, we need to sit down and identify our boundaries that go along with that need. So let's get back into it. Let's get back into a reference of what boundaries really are. So, you remember when you were in school and your teachers would tell you, hey, let's look at a map in geography. You are looking at the types of lines that show different barriers through different terrains. Now, these are invisible lines, and so are our boundaries. Okay? They map out areas in our life where we draw the line and where others draw the line with us. And it has a lot to do with what we're willing to deal with, what we're not willing to deal with, what is acceptable and what is not acceptable, and how far we're willing to go, and how far we're willing to let others go with us, and how much we're willing to give, and how much is acceptable when it comes to what we allow others to give us. And this is extremely important. So let me get my notes ready, guys. I'm so excited because I sat down and I went over this over and over because I really wanted you to have a clear understanding of, okay, where do I start when it comes to setting my own boundaries? Where in your life is it going crazy? Where in your life is everything just running rampant? Now, some of us, we might say everywhere. I need to be grounded. I need to be centered. I need to set some boundaries in every area of my life. For others, it may just be, I'm doing well in most areas of my life, but just some areas I really need some boundaries. I need some financial boundaries because I'm overexerting myself when giving. I may need some time boundaries when it comes to my friends and what I'm able to do when it comes to hanging out and spending time with those that we care about and love, my availability. I may need to set healthy boundaries when it comes to my job because I'm always the go-to person. I'm always the one that they call on. It's giving me, it's very heavy. It's giving me distress. It's leaving me in a distressed state. Is that better? I'm sorry, guys. But I want you to understand that we have to, within reason, we have to set boundaries in our life that will protect us and also, protect those that we deal with. Because we don't want to be in a situation where we don't have boundaries and things are out of control and then we begin to behave in a certain manner that is not a representation of who we are, but a representation of our frustrations, a representation of our issues and our problems that are unresolved, that we have not drawn the line. Now, when it comes to personal growth, when it comes to your personal development, when it comes to, making decision that I have gone as far as I could go where I am. That's the breaking point. Where you realize you can't stay where you are anymore. You can't thrive where you are. So now you have to do a in-depth evaluation of everything that's going on in your life, the people in your life, what you are doing with your time, what is getting in your way, what is holding you back, what is keeping you from progressing. Where have I not set boundaries for myself? There used to be a time where I lived in the life, and being in the life, I didn't have a a solid foundation of boundaries when it came to my finances. Because I got money so fast, I messed it up even faster. I gave it out. I did so much that I became a crutch for so many people, that I was always there for them, but they were never there for me. And it put me in a situation that when I needed, no one was there to give me, because they were like, you're always there when I need you. You're always the one that has. You're always the one that can go and get it. And that might not be within their potential. They might not be as resourceful as me at that time. So it kind of was an uneven street, and it caused a lot of stress on me, because I started to feel like everyone connected to me was only there because of the financial gain of my heart, my willingness to give. So I had to evaluate, okay, my relationships, my friendships, what are they on? What are they about? And some people I really, truly cared about, I had to sit them down and say, look, this is the last time we're actually going to hang out. I don't see us going any further. I realized that I was the friend to you. That's the only reason why our friendship lasted as long as it did. I don't want problems. I just want peace. And where I'm headed in life, I just can't go with this connection. I can't go with the way we behave when we get together. I can't go if I'm constantly taking and pouring into you and it's not coming back. And I can't overvalue our friendship if you don't value it at all. So these are the conversations that I had to have, and they were very heartbreaking. They took me through some changes. I went through even loneliness after what I call booming season, because I was a person who didn't want to set boundaries. So instead of setting boundaries, I would just kick everybody out of my life. Yeah. That's pretty much was my boundary system. For me, it was like, you know what? Yeah, this ain't working. None of this. Everybody, let's go. Get out. I'm going to start over. And my real friends recognize that I'm going through something. I'm trying to make changes and efforts, and they respected that. So when I came back, like, hey, I'm sorry, I was really going through some things, and I recognized that our friendship was not healthy at the time, and I wasn't a positive influence to you or a positive benefit to you, no more than you were to me. So I really needed to step back, evaluate myself, and get my life together. And that was understood. So when we think about our life and where our boundaries need to be, where do we cross the line? This is what we really need to think about physically, emotionally, mentally, financially. These things matter when you are overexerting yourself. So don't be like me. Don't be like me, guys. Truly take the time to analyze your own needs. Where do you need to step back? Where do you need a sense of change? What no longer serves you? What is working against you? How is it working against you? The only way that you actually can get around these things is confronting them, being honest with yourself. Because this plays a major part in your well-being. You're not setting boundaries to set alarms off or bombs off to hurt people, but you're setting boundaries to protect yourself from getting hurt, from potentially hurting other people, and losing good friendships over meaningless things. That is the reason of you taking the steps to protect yourself and setting healthy boundaries. Now, let's get into it. So let me go over my notes. So, like, what is setting healthy boundaries? Looking at and identifying your emotional, physical, financial, all of these needs, even your spiritual needs, your psychological needs, all of these matter. Is there a person in your life, an environment, substances, anything that is in your life that is causing you an imbalance somewhere? Causing you to regress somewhere, causing you to feel some stress and strain somewhere in your life in these areas. If you know that in these areas, yes, I'm feeling some tension. I'm going through it. I can't get a grip. Okay, now you know that you have to sit down, evaluate, and look at where you need to set boundaries and with whom. And sometimes we need to set boundaries with ourselves. I can't do this. And when we tell ourselves, I can't behave like this any longer. So who is causing me to behave like this? What is causing me to behave like this? Because I have to draw the line on that right there. I have to come to terms with who or whatever that is so I can grow. So I have to draw a line with that connection. I have to interrupt that connection there so I can get myself together. This can be in family relationships where family oversteps their boundaries. This can be in personal relationships where your partner may not treat you the way you want to be treated. A clear line of communication and setting proper boundaries sets the stage for respect and understanding between partners. Identifying each other's needs and being supportive towards them. And the same thing with friendship. Any form of relationship is sharing a mutual respect for each other. So going into friendships and relationships and things and not setting boundaries can drive us crazy. When people get to what we call doing too much. And on a bad end, not having healthy boundaries can put us in a situation that is harmful and that can break us down in a very negative way. We can become victims of some very serious crimes, such as domestic violence and other forms of abuse and exploitation. And it starts by recognizing yourself and let your beliefs and your values guide your boundaries. Let your belief system and your values guide your boundaries. What I believe about myself, what stands true, what I hold as true within myself, within my life, these are my lines. And to me, I'm not going to let anyone mentally stress me out beyond what I'm giving them the room to do. Financially, I have definitely gained great boundaries where I am here to give. I am here to assist and help. That's why I've built this organization. But that is on a organizational level. For my friends and my family, I am there as much as I can be. But I will no longer overexert myself and put myself in a situation where my children lack or where I lack something that I truly need on account of overexerting to please someone else or to be there for someone else or to give to someone else on account of if I don't, I feel some type of way or they make me feel some type of way as if I'm not real or I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. You have the right to take care of yourself. You know that, right? That is not selfish in any way. So I want you to take the time to set the stage to do just that. Take care of self. And what does that mean? We're going to identify our needs. And when we start to do this, then we can start to identify the boundaries we need to set in place to support our needs. Do we need peace? A lot of us need peace. And if that is such, that means certain environments of chaos we need to avoid. Certain people that tend to bring the drama and all of the problems, we need to set some really stern, healthy boundaries because they're disturbing our what? Peace. So whatever it may be, there is something that you can set to guide you, to protect you, to let others know, hey, these are my boundaries. And it's acceptable because, listen, everyone should have boundaries. And as you put your boundaries out there to support your personal needs, be willing to receive and understand someone else's boundaries to support them and their needs. And that is how you have an understanding and how you can be there to support each other because you have an understanding, and that's a mutual respect. So as we get into our next lesson, go over your worksheets, take the time once again in identifying your own personal needs and the areas of your life where you already have boundaries set. And kind of look over those boundaries and see how they are. Sometimes I need to reevaluate my boundaries because sometimes I'm not committed to them. Okay? Sometimes, I'm not going to lie, sometimes I'm not committed. So when I have to come back to the table, I'm like, all right, hold on. What's going on here? Where am I losing touch? And it's like, aha! I dropped the ball over here. And I dropped the ball over there. So let me go ahead and get myself together and reground myself and reiterate these boundaries to myself and to others. And it always is in a matter of communication, how you communicate these boundaries. I'm not talking about going off and yelling and screaming at people, treating them with the utmost disrespect because you feel disrespected. No, just simply take the time to sit those important people in your life down, to set these important personal boundaries down, and be willing to hear theirs and discuss how you guys can meet each other halfway and be supportive. So get into it. As you look over the boundaries that you may need to reiterate that are standing strong. I love that. Because, listen, my peace boundary is the one that is standing strong in my life. Okay, everyone. Okay. And then I want you to think of boundaries that need to be set. These are the boundaries that you need to implement in your life. I want you to think about why you need them and the benefit of you adding them to your life and how you're going to go about adding them into your life and being committed to your own boundaries and holding yourself and others accountable about your boundaries. And like I said, I really want you to understand it goes both ways. Sometimes we got to stop and think like, dang, am I respecting myself and other people? Because when we go through a lot, we tend to pour a lot of ourselves. But baby, don't forget, you are worthy, you are loved, and you got this. I thank you guys for tuning in to this week's class. I look forward to you all in one-on-one sessions, and I thank you. Talk to you again.